didn't go too brainy, but because I realized a lot of the data I have, my hypothesis,
Yeah.
I'll bring you through that now, wrong, and I'm happy about that.
Good.
And
That's excellent.
I was really happy to get, all the tests I did told me, no, your data's wrong,
Awesome.
which to me, you're always looking for what's the next thing,
Yep.
and I was trying to focus on the negative, try and focus on the data that isn't there to show that, you are healthy, you are, I could have traced it backwards to show a positive. Instead, I traced it through the negative that you don't have those problems.
Oh, good. I'm relieved. Hey, do I need to have you help? Have you share? Could you share by yourself, or do I have to turn it on?
I need you to turn it on for me.
Okay. Then you are the host.
All righty.
Now, there you go.
All right, let's see which one this one's to use. Okay. Let me know when you can see everything.
Oh man, I can see it.
Perfect. Now, I'm Dr. Feiler. I'd like to bring you through the comprehensive guide of Bill Greeter. He was my patient for this, so I'm very dedicated to his health. We took some patient information to start. Bill Greeter, he's the Six Sigma guru. He comes from parts unknown, only at the spry age of 29.
29. Oh,
occasionally drinks, stopped doing cocaine in the 70s. He lives a healthy life. Further on, he exercises daily, tries to keep a healthy and balanced diet, has some, personal and family history of heart complications that, that's what brings us here today. Bill wanted to know, what's going wrong? Am I in a good place? He's also a frozen yogurt enthusiast. Menchie's is his life. So we started with some data collection. Every week for the last, 14 years or so, he's collected his weight, pulse, and his wife has collected his attitude. Favorable, a little grumpy. We'll test that later on. But with that, we found that on average from the last 14 years, Bill has maintained a rough pulse of 85, with, on the higher end hitting into the high 90s, but never going tachycardic, which is a very good thing. And his weight fluctuated up into 205, all the way down to the low 180s, which, is a great feat for that time. And maintained an average weight of 184 in 14 years, which, with minimal fluctuation is actually a very good weight range to suspend yourself in. Now, my hypothesis here is Bill's dying quickly.
Wasn't that true? It's true of all of us. It's true of all of us.
But Bill is dying quickly. He might go tomorrow, maybe the next day. We don't know. Bill's weight will be proportional to his resting heart rate. And that's my expectation that, the higher his weight, the more often tachycardic or high heart rates will occur. You find it commonly in people who are overweight or in higher weight ranges that they'll have a higher occurrence of tachycardia, commonly have more heart complications. But is this due to their weight or are there other underlying factors? We did some data analysis of the aforementioned data, and we found that his p-value, which is a strong reliant statistical factor to show how significant data is, and we found that it had an unprecedentedly high p-value, which means there is no significance or nearly no significance. The higher that value, the less away from the alpha value, the less significant those figures are. Now, it shows a strong lack of significance, which is great for Bill.
Thank God.
We did a little bit of graphical analysis too, just to help show everything off. If you see on the bottom left, that would be a normal curve of his z-score. Now, z-score is a complicated little system just used to kind of average out your data. and show it a little bit more easily. Having a nice curve like that shows that things are well within range, though it is shifted to the right, which shows an imbalance in the mean, medium, and mode. Now, all of those really fancy statistics lingo don't really tell you too much about the data, but it's showing that there is a lower boundary set in the data, which in layman's terms means it shifts one way as opposed to the other. An even better representation of this is the scatter plot on the bottom right with his weight and heart rate. Now, although his weight and heart rate is very centralized, even as it goes up, it tends to stay in roughly the same approximate area. The higher weight he gets, there happen to be more outliers within his heart rate. So it does show a bit of significance there. As you can see on the right side of it, that they start to fly off just a bit, but not within any unappreciable range. So we found out that weight has no significant relation on heart rate. We could more likely find a significant relation with a larger change in weight. So we hope that Bill either gets really skinny or really fat, so we can really test this theory out. But with him staying healthy as a horse, as some might say, we're sad to tell you, Bill is dying very slowly against all expectations.
Thank God.
Bill is a survivor, and we hope to see that change things up a little bit. And yeah, that is my little presentation.
Can I share that? Can I share that with Rose and
anybody you like?
Oh, I love it. That is beautiful. Oh my God. I just love the fact that you chose heart rate and weight, because I don't think anyone has ever done that.
No, and that when Rose and Esteban told me what they were doing, I wanted to kind of stray away from their stuff just to at least kind of be a little bit more well-rounded. And I myself, have some heart conditions, so
Yep.
I was curious how it really relates. Like if I started losing, 10, 20 pounds, would that change things for me? Because I have a high resting heart rate, where yours rests, roughly in the 60s and 80s for most of your life.
Yep.
Mine sits in the high 90s to the low hundreds at all times.
At rest.
Yeah, which is unusual, but I also have a heart condition that can cause that. So it's not unexpected. I was just curious if that would reduce my heart rate, and apparently the answer is not really. It more so has to do with physical conditioning than weight, and weight, as we're finding out in the medical community, doesn't really mean too much. People who are very, very heavy aren't necessarily out of shape.
Yep.
It's more reliant on your BMI and your diet and your level of activity. People who are, marathon runners tend to have a heart rate in the low 60s. And it's not because they're so small, it's because their body is well conditioned. They stress out that heart muscle and work it up. It's just like working out, your biceps.
Yep. Oh man, that was so cool. That was so well done. Well done, dude.
Thank you. And yeah, it took me a while to find a picture of you on the internet, but I got you in your ref gear.
So I'll send you Greenbelt. And,
perfect.
I'll get the certificate to you. That was so well done. Thank you so much. I'm going to probably like to share it with actually one of the people that's going to be in the next class is Stephen Fries. He's the lean leader at Ulbrich. And
cool.
I showed him Rose's. I'm going to send him yours too, just so we can get an idea. I just love it. I just love the tools you picked. I think it was well done.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it. I really, really enjoyed the class. I thought it was great. And, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So getting to actually go through it and how easily you taught it. You taught it very much so in a way that I appreciate.
Well, thank you for that.
It was easy to digest, and that definitely, it helps. Your teaching style is very comfortable, and I like it, at least for me.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Maybe if my kid, my oldest, is asked after me, he says, "Dad, you got to develop your website," so I'm poking away at that, and I'm thinking, if I want to do one of these or two of these a year, maybe, like, because one of the things I'm after is like the kids that I taught in school, the college kids, is a lot of times, they're looking for work. They have a little bit of time after graduation, like to be able to make it where it's really affordable for them. They can. I don't really care.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But also, like, maybe I could ask you for, maybe you and Rose and Esteban for a testimonial. Saying, hey, it was fun, or it's worth the time, or.
Bill, without a doubt, I would gladly, and I highly recommend you get in touch with, UNH, and, even for a cheap, especially if you're doing it for, a conservative rate, you could probably get them to pay for it on behalf of a lot of students, trying to get them, motivated and push them towards, advancing themselves. But in general, I know they brought up Six Sigma training with me when I was a freshman, and I was like, oh, that's incredible. But it's so expensive to do, and I don't know if I'll get the chance. And this was perfect.
Well, I think like I'm thinking, I don't know, like originally I was thinking like 450. Like in other words, I want to make it affordable. But then there's even a couple of people said to me, listen, I don't have that kind of money right now. So I'm like, all right, so you can Venmo me $25 a week. I don't care.
Make it a payment plan.
Yeah, I don't
Have
care.
an all pay option, or have a payment plan. And because especially if there was like a payment plan option, I pay you, $25 a week, $50, whatever. I would absolutely have chosen to do that back then, and even now.
That's some hope, because I think there's a lot in there, a lot in Six Sigma training that you never use, but there's some parts of it that are, you might in some point say, hey, you know what? I think I know how to do that. Let me try that one. I know it's a certain tool or.
Yeah, and especially doing these smaller groups, you're building up a resource database. So when people are done, you can show these off. You can show class recordings and.
Yeah. Hey, what I want to ask you about was the exam, right? One of the things I'm thinking about for the next class is do it live. Like, in other words, have them do the exam like while we're on Zoom instead of a take home. Do you think that exam, because we reviewed it the week before, right? We kind of went through, what's going to be on it. Because I feel like the exam is a test of my ability to teach more so than your ability to study. You know what I mean?
I think it's a combination of the two. At least that's the way I've always felt with any kind of schooling. Is it's not. That's one of the reasons that salary in New York for teachers is pretty commensurate upon the performance of your students. If you're not a good teacher, your kids aren't going to do well. Granted, there are also kids that just don't do well, so that can make things a bit shady. But I think doing it live would be a good way for you to at least get a stronger feel of their personal knowledge of it. And it might give you some good feedback watching, are they struggling? Is there something that, they're not getting as easily?
Like, what if I did
help you build your curriculum forward?
Like, I remember it was 40 questions, and it was, I think for the most part, it wasn't diving into real specific aspects of tools that no one even thinks about. But like if I did like a poll, like let's say it was a 40 question poll, on our last on our exam day, and then if they didn't, let's say someone didn't hit 70%, allow them to retake test or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that, that's a great way to do it. And as you do the test, or at least I think this would be a good idea, is, ask the first question, have them complete the poll, see where the answers are, and then give a brief explanation of this is what it is and this is why. And then each step, each question, go through it after they answer. Because it's a final reminder of what they've just been studying.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that. I think I like that idea. Instead of just saying, "All right, here's the exam, get it back to me." I mean, because I don't know, it might be fun, especially if I prepare the week before well, like with the review.
Yeah.
And I have people from different stages of their, their careers. Some folks haven't had even a yellow belt yet, but they want to take it. I think I'm going to try it. What's the worst thing could happen, right? It'd be a total.
And especially like if somebody does poorly, just say, hey, say, I'm going to grade your tests after, see how well you did. And if you, didn't do that well, don't worry. We'll go have a review session, and we'll do it again and see how much you've learned since then. It's the progress, not.
Yeah. Okay. I like that a lot. Because it's more important than because when I took my green belt exams, 100 question closed book.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you
a
had 2
crazy
hours to
test.
do it. Yeah, it's like this was 40 plus the presentation, which I like the application of the tools that you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
And
and you really focus on, what I really liked is you really focus on the applicable. There's a lot in Six Sigma that goes way over people's heads, and there's a big statistical amount of statistical information that you really don't need to use on almost any occasion.
like when would you ever use it? In terms of like your career at ORNL, even over the next 20 years, like it's like if I can't do an Excel, then let's not do it. I don't need mini tab.
Exactly.
I don't need. So
I tell everybody Excel is a key part of business in the world currently, and I think it will be for a long time. If you need to, people need to focus on how to best use Excel. It is an amazing program that does a lot of things.
yeah.
You won't even realize it until you get into it.
I'm gonna do like a meet and greet for the next class, probably in the next 10 days. Kind of just get everybody together and kind of explain how it works. And maybe I'll send you guys an invite, you and Rose and Esteban, see if you want to just poke in and
Absolutely.
meet the class and tell them what you thought, whatever you want to.
Yeah. No, Bill, I am a big, hand in the air for this class. I think it was great. I really like this opportunity. So if you have any, need anything, let me know. My hand is in. I want to be a part of the Bill Greeter lean team, Six Sigma fun jamboree.
Well, hopefully we'll be together a while, because I think I like where ORNL is going. I enjoy it. It's a great group of people. It's a family.
Yeah.
And I hope that, I hope you're there, you're long term, I don't know,
I hope so too.
yeah, they love you. So, well,
That's right.
congratulations, dude. I'll send you your green belt certificate. Congratulations, green belt.
Alrighty. And don't worry, I got you in mind too.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you so
You
much,
too.
Dustin. Well done.
Always.